Use same-size units. Lay them end to end. Count the length units.
Welcome to the quiet dawn of the Reed Measure Marsh, and this is Wren, a young great blue heron. When we look around this beautiful wetland, a question comes up. How can we tell exactly how long something is? To find out, Wren uses a special tool. It's a single painted reed segment. By using this exact same short piece over and over, she can measure almost anything. This diagram shows the golden rule for measuring. Lay these identical pieces perfectly end to end. There can be no gaps between them and no overlaps. Once lined up, simply count how many fit. That total count is the true length of the object. Let's see how this works in the water. Wren is stepping up to a straight fallen reed in the shallows. She starts by dipping her bill and carefully placing the very first segment so it lines up exactly flush with the end of the fallen reed. Next, she lays down a second segment so its edge perfectly touches the first. She repeats this, setting each bar so they touch completely without ever crossing over each other. Looking at our inset panel, we can count the units she placed along the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the pieces are identical and touch perfectly end to end, we know for sure the fallen reed is exactly 4 units long. Now let's observe this feather drifting gently on the surface. To measure it, Wren has to use the exact same size unit bars she used for the fallen reed. She delicately sets the segments end to end along the feather, taking care that the drifting water doesn't pull them apart and create any gaps. Let's check our panel and count along the feather. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter what we're measuring. By using the same unit end to end, the feather's true length is precisely 3 units. Finally, we have the trickiest path of the day, the purled snail track winding along the muddy bank. Wren begins to lay her unit bars, following the curved shape of the trail. But look closely at this diagram of the curled path. One of the bars drifted crooked, leaving a noticeable space between the segments. A gap ruins the count because it skips over part of the track. That is the wrong way to measure, so let's nudge it back into place so the ends touch perfectly. Now that there are no gaps, we can count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actively checking for gaps and fixing them guarantees our count is correct. The snail track is 5 units long. Wren stands tall by all 3 of her measured paths. Looking at our panel one last time, we can clearly see the final completed measurements for all 3 distinct paths. So remember the rule. Same unit, end to end, no gaps. Then count. The total number of units that fit is the length. Always use the exact same unit, laid perfectly end to end. I will see you next time down in the marsh. But before you go, think about this. If a unit bar overlaps the one before it, will your final count be too big or too small? And why?
No gaps. No overlaps. The count gives length. Units make measure clear.